So I have now discussed about pseudocodes and how to write pseudocodes in for different problems using the sequence, selection and repetition. අපි pseudocodes එතකොට sequence, selection, repetition කියන තුනම use කරලා කරන විදිය ගැන අපි කතා කරා. You can see now here this, if you take begin, you can see total, average. We call them variables. Variables can be having these kind of names. They can hold a value inside. N is also a variable. That I will not explain because I have done it in my video. The previous lesson I have done it. So let's proceed to next. So there are some facts about pseudocodes. මේ දෙන pseudocodes ගැන පොඩි මේ දේවල් ටිකක් නිකන් බලාගෙන යන්න තියෙනවා. First one is total, average and numbers are variables. If you take this total, average, n, all these are variables. Here number is also variable. When values are assigned to number variable, the value of total, average and n variables changed. Make it about number කියන එකට value එකක් දානකොට total එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. Average එක ඒ වෙලාවේ වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ, පස්සේ වෙනස් වෙනවා. Then n indicates a number of repetitions. That is also a variable. Even though it is not indicated as a variable, the statement total equals 0 and average equals 0 will assign 0 and average, the variables 0 into them. So that is another thing that you have to note. The statement n equals 1 makes the starting value of n is assigned to 1. n සමාන 1 කියන එක මේ තියෙන්නේ. It is setting the may. So here it is setting the variable to 0. This is setting the variable of this to 0. It is setting n to 1. n කියන එක 1 කරනවා. එතකොට මේ තුනේම මේ variables or values එක වෙලා මේක එකයි මේක දෙක බිඳුව. So then we can see, hence the initial value of total and average are zeros. The statement n equals 1 makes the starting value of n is assigned to 1. And n greater than 10 is the condition. The මේ තියෙන්නේ මේක තමයි condition. මේ condition එක හරිනම් තමයි මේක ඇතුළට යන්නේ. If this condition is true, only it will go into this loop body and execute. Right? While n greater than or less than or equal to 10 indicates that loop n should be repeated until the value of n is 10. Repetition occurs when the value of n is 10 or less than 10. This means still the condition n greater less than or equal to 10 is true, repetition occurs. When the value of n becomes 11, the repetition stops. When the condition becomes false. Right? මෙතන තමයි condition එක නම්. ඒ කියන්නේ n එක මෙතන වැඩි වුණොත් එහෙම මේව ගිහිල්ලා 11ට වඩා වැඩි වෙනවනේ මේක එතන. එතකොට n කියන එක 11 වෙච්ච ගමන් මේ condition එක false වෙච්ච ගමන් මේ loop එකේ body එකට ආපහු යන්නේ නැහැ. It will not go into the loop's body when the condition is going to be 11, right? So that is what is being explained here. මේක තමයි එතන explain කරලා තියෙන්නේ. So මෙතන read කියන්නේ ඔක්කොම විස්තර කරලා තියෙනවා. Everything you can read this. මේ දැන් කියලා බලන්න. I have just told everything that is related to this section in the last lesson. So it is actually a waste of time to go through this. Now we will go to the second part, converting the flowcharts to pseudocodes. You can see now an algorithm can be presented in a flowchart as well as in pseudocode. මේ දෙකේම අපිට පුළුවන් algorithm එකක් represent කරන්න. දැන් බලමු මේ algorithm එකේ මේ flowchart එකෙන් ඇඳලා තියෙන එක pseudocode කරලා තියෙන විදිය. Now we have to find out how this flowchart based how this algorithm that is drawn using a flowchart is being made being shown in a pseudocode, right? This you have to find out So මෙතන start කියන එක වෙනකොට මෙතන තියෙන begin. Instead of start, you have begin here. Then we can see put tea bag in the cup. That is an operation. Operation එක. ඒතර මේකේ ඇත්තටම operations ටිකට මේ symbols operations මොකද කියලා ප්‍රශ්නෙකුත් තියෙනවා. මොකද මේක input එකක් විදිහට අපිට ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. The problem is now these are actual real world issues or real world things. Now, if you observe that in previous sections, sometimes you can see that flowcharts are having these symbols for input and output. And you can see they are applied here. But in this one, you can see even they are applied here. But in this pseudo code, you can see that is not followed. The reason or the rationale behind not following these procedures is not that much clear, but we can just think it as an input operation. In the real world, it is not a computer program. Now you can see how we can convert this flowchart in the pseudocode. So you can see start, you can see begin. Start කියන එක ඉස්සෙල්ලා begin කියලා ලියන්න. Then we can write this thing right next to it. If you see something like this, මෙන්න මෙහෙම එකක් දැක්කොත්, then you have to put a while condition. While you can put not water boil. Water boil වෙලා නැත්තම්. You have to keep on boiling the water. Boil water. Again, you can come and check. It can make a minimum when you have some water boil කර කර ඒ කියන්නේ දිගටම gas එක දාලා තියෙනවා. තියතිය බලනවත් සැරින් සැරේට ඇවිල්ලා වතුර නටනවාද. You have checking if the water is boiling by time to time. Coming to the cooker and you are checking it. Until the water is going to boil, you will do this. So වතුර නටනකම් මේ වැඩේ කරලා වතුර නටන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. දැන් මෙතන while not water boil කියලා. While water is not boiling කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. So while water is not boiling, you are going to do this again and again. So that is how we convert. දැන් බලන්න මෙතන start එක begin. Put tea bag in the cup. That is here. ඒක මුඩින් වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතනින් තමයි අර loop එක වෙන්නේ. So while not water boil, boil water and again check. If it is boiling, again boil, check again boil. Like this it goes on. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? Pour water in the cup. ඊළඟට වතුර දාන්න cup එකට. You have to pour water into the cup. Then after that, again now you have to check it for the taste. So then you have to keep on adding sugar. Then first you pour it. Then if you want sugar අවශ්‍ය නම් විතරයි දාන්න. එතකොට ඉතින් අපි add කරනවා sugar. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ sugar needed කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ sugar taste එක මදි. sugar ඕනේ තව. Then you keep on adding sugar. එතන add sugar මේ සාමාන්‍ය බලන්න මේ boil water කියන එක එන්නේ මේක ඇතුළේ. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මෙතන condition එකක් තිබ්බම condition එක පටන් ගන්න එක මෙතෙන්ට. boil water කියලා ඒ වගේ කීපයක් තිබ්බත් ඒක එන්නේ මේක ඇතුළේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි නිකම්ම end while කියන එක මෙහෙම ලියන්න. මෙතනත් බලන්න pattern එක බලන්න. මෙතන මේකෙන් pour water කියන එක තියෙන කෙලිම එළියේ. ඒක condition repetition mood අයිති වෙන්නේ. මෙතන pour water in cup කිව්වට පස්සේ මෙතන want sugar කියලා තියෙනවා. මේක. So want sugar කියන එක set වෙන්නේ කොහාටද? මෙතෙන්ට. Rama, did you understand how it is done? The pattern?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you have to be very careful when you're converting this. So you can see now. Again, you can. So there are two repetition structures here. One is this. The other one is this. So you check whether you want sugar. Then, if you want sugar, you add sugar. Stir. The මේක මෙහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ. add කියන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලාම sugar දාලා ඊතලේ තියෙන දිශාවට කරන්නේ. ඒක yes කරා add sugar කියලා එක මුලින්ම එන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ stir කියන එක ඊළඟ පොඩි. ඊට පස්සේ අපි මේකට එනවා. Right. Then You can see that to make a මෙහෙම ගිහිල්ලා මෙහෙම. එතන මුලින්ම මේක. මුලින් එන එක මෙතෙන්ට දානවා. දෙවෙනි එකෙන් මේක. You can make direction එක බලන්න. We are not going to see the disorder, right? We are going to see the direction. මේ order එක නෙමෙයි. මෙතන direction. So that is the direction that is going to take place. Right. Then එතකොට මේක after that it is going to end. මේ end එක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. Here normally we use start, here we use begin and then this one started. Whatever we have here we put like this. Whatever we have like this, the things that are having the circles or the loops, we will put it like this. And inside this we have to put the condition which is mentioned here. මේ condition එක මෙතන දානවා. ඒක දාන විදිය බලන්න. water boils and මෙතන not water boil. Water boil නැත්නම්. Then boil water. Keep on boiling the water. This one again. Want sugar, you check it should be here. Sugar needed. And you can keep on adding sugar, stirring, checking the taste. මෙතන තව එකක් ඇත්තටම වෙන check taste කියලා. Check taste of the tea කියන ආවිල්ලා එන්නේ. දැන් මෙතන සමහර අයට ඉන්නවනේ ඒක ටේස්ට් කරන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ කෙලින්ම sugar නැත්තම් ඒ sugar ඕනම නැති කට්ටිය එතකොට ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ මෙතන දාන නැති. That means there are people who do not need sugar for the tea. So they just drink on the tea without sugar. So then it goes down here. Next one. 11. Find the larger number from two different numbers. Numbers දෙකෙන් ලොකු එක බලන්න. So have a look at this make a bun. You can see now start is again begin. Input the two numbers. That is, you can see an input operation with a tilted rectangle. මේක දැන් පේනවද මේකම මෙහෙම ඇද වෙච්ච rectangle එක තියෙන එක ඇද වෙලා තියෙනවා. You can see tilted rectangle. Read N1, comma N2. So it is reading N1 and N2. If N1 is greater than N2, now we are checking it. So if N1 is larger than N2, there is no repetition. Make a repetition එකක් නැහැ. If it is larger than N2, then make කෙලින්ම මේ condition එක මෙතෙන්ට දාන්න පුළුවන්. You can put this condition directly here because it is selection. If it is yes, you will put larger numbers in. So you can assign this large. මෙතන මේ variable එක තියෙන large කියලා ඒකට දානවා N1 කියන එක. Else large is going to be N2. රාම එක තේරෙනවද ඔයාලට? තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් කියන explain කරන එක දැන් කලින් එක කොහොමද මේක කොහොමද? because you are the only one who is here, right? So then you can, otherwise it is. Should I explain it further?
No, sir. Can understand.
Can, very good. So a good student, right? So it is really easy for me then to teach people like you, because sometimes even I tell this in other classes several times, sometimes people don't understand. Good. So you can see if n1 greater than n2, that is this condition. If that condition is going to be true, we have a variable called large. It is going to be somewhere here. So large is going to be assigned with n1. So large variable will be whatever you have inside large will be n1. For example, let's say if you give, so let's copy this. Then copy karot. For example, now n1 and n2, they are going to be two numbers. So my numbers they can n1 and n2 again. So these are two numbers. Now බලමු මේ n1 n2 ගේ numbers දෙක. n1 කියන එක අපි දැන් අපි දෙනවා n1 we will give the value as 30, n2 we will give the value as 10. Now when you take this is going to be 30, this is going to be 10. So n1 is going to be greater than n2 at this moment. So this condition is true. Therefore, it will go to this part and the value large will be the large variable that value it will be assigned with now it will not go to this part because this is already evaluated to be true. So it will be assigning this value to the large variable, and later on, so after this part is executed, it will not consider anything here. මේකට යන්නේ නැහැ. මේක විතරයි වෙන්නේ. මේක උනාට පස්සේ කෙලින්ම යන්නේ display large කියන එකට ගිහලා මේක display කරනවා. So large is going to be 30 now. And the same thing is happening here. So we can see large number is n1, large number is n2. So both will go towards this output the larger number section. So once the larger number is set, it will be displayed. Here the same thing is happening. If the larger number is detected and displayed, it will be. So here it is not mentioning if both numbers are equal, what should happen. That's a problem, but it is not addressed in this program. Now there's another complex example. Finding the let's try to do this. Let's try to find or write the pseudo code of this one. Rama, you can try this without looking at the answer. Try this. Without that, try to do that. So I'll give some time. Maybe 5 minutes will be enough.
So should I do this?
Have you finished? No, not. Are you doing it yet?
Sir, I'm doing it.
Okay. After you complete it, let me know so we can check your answer with what I am doing. Then it's better if you can put it in the WhatsApp as well. In the group, you just post it. So you can start like this, and from there onward, I will wait for some time to.
Sir, I sent.
All right, let's check it. Okay. Besides that, let's keep it aside for the moment, and I will do my one. Okay. This is more a mistake there, so it's okay. You will do mistakes in the beginning, then that is why we are having classes and to correct them up. Okay, now let's check. You can see now this one is going to now you have to be really concerned about some facts here. You can see min is 10, count is 1. So when you take this one, it is checking if the count is less than 10. If the count is less than 10, only this will go in the cycle. If it is not, it will display something and end. මේක තමයි මෙතන බලන්න ඕනේ. කියන්නේ මේක තමයි මොකද්ද? We call it the loop control variable. Count is called the loop control variable. මේක notes ලියා ගන්න ලොකුට දෙයක් නැහැ. මේක විදිහට practice කරන්න. In this lesson, what we should do is mainly practice. There is nothing that we have to write notes about. So we have to do many exercises on this one. So when you take this, it is checking if the count is less than 10, only this will go through. Then make a digital count එක 10ට අඩු කරනවා. ඒතකොට මෙතන you can see now it seems that there's a smaller mistake. Let's check this one. One. Okay, it seems that there's no mistake. Let's see. Let's do it. So if you take this one, count is equal to 0. So now I have to type. In a type of this while type while the condition is if count, it should be the same appearance. So the table symbol should be same. Count is less than 10. Then we have to always put end while right after this. End while then you will not forget to ඊට සමතක වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් end while කියන අමතක වුණොත් මේක ලියද්දි හරි මේක හැබැයි මෙහෙමයි exam එකේදී මේක කරන්න බෑ ඔයාලට. When you're writing this, you can't do this because you don't know the gap between this. මේ අතර gap එක හොයන්න බෑ කොච්චරක් ලියන්නද. මම මේ කරන්නේ මට කියන්නේ end while කියන so you remember to put this one, right? So when you're typing, it is okay, but when you're writing, if you put this one, then you can't write whatever here. Is that clear? So normally when I'm just coding, I do this, but it is not always applicable for examination. Exam එකේදී මෙහෙම මේක එකපාර දැම්මොත් මෙතන ලියන්න බෑනේ. ඒකින්ද දැන් මම මේක පස්සේ දානවා කියලා හිතාගෙන අපි මතක් කරගන්න. You have to remember that you must put that at the end of the code එක අවසාන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් දාන්න එක මතක තියාගන්න. Next one, you have to now input another number. Read it. I'll read කරන්න. දැන් අපිට මේක මේ විදිහටම සමහරට උත්තරේ නැතුව ඇති. ඒත් අපි කරගෙන යන්න. Read it. Now we have to check if n is less than min. What is this? Then මෙතන මෙහෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවා. So it's something like this. So we make an assumption. මුලින්ම අපි assumption එකක් කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි assumption එකක් කරනවා මේ minimum කියලා කියන්නේ දැන් මේ දීපු n විතරයි කියලා අපි හිතා ගන්නවා මුලින්. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක මුලින්ම n read කරනවා. n read කරාට පස්සේ අපි හිතනවා ඒ n කියන්නේ මේක තියෙන අඩුමගේ මේ n කියන්නේ දැනට දීලා තියෙන අඩුමගේ කියලා අපි හිතා ගන්නවා. ඒක තමයි මේ assumption. This is a kind of assumption that we make just to think that the minimum value of n is ඒ කියන්නේ n මෙතෙක් හම්බෙලා තියෙන අඩුමගේ මේක කියලා හිතලා අපි වැඩේ කරා යනවා. ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙ n එකක් දෙන්න. අපි දැන් බලමුකෝ මේක යන විදිහ first we read type it and see what how it goes on. So n less than min on n කියන එක අඩු වෙනවා. min මේක check කරලා බලමු. You are checking this. If it is yes, what we should do is again we have to assign this. Otherwise එහෙම නැත්තම් else we have to so මේකේ ඇත්තටම else part එකක් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. We don't want else part. We can do end if. අයියා ඕන නැති කියලා මම කියනවා. Then we have to increase count equals count plus 1 and end while end while. And after all, we have to display min and now check the pseudo code. On the pseudo code එකත් එක්ක මේක බලන්න තියෙනවා. Check the flow chart in the pseudo code. And also check what you have done. ඔයා කරපු දේ බලන්න. එතන පොඩි වැරද්දක් තියෙනව නේද? සමහර තැන් හරිය උඩ ටික හරි. This part is okay. While මේකත් read n කියන එක මෙතන වරද්දලා තියෙනවා. මට ලකුණු දෙන්න වැරද්දුත් ඒකයි කරන්න ඕනේ. හරියට. ඒකට වැරදි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ලකුණු කැපෙනවා. If n you can mark in A level, be careful, right? So if n is less than min, then make a you can have bargain. You have put only else. අපි දැන් මේකට values දාලා බලමු. ඒක තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ දැන්. දැන් බලන්න. So we have to just observe how this works. මේක තේරුම් ගන්න මේකට values දාන්න. අපි දැන් බලමු values දාන්න. අපි හිතමු in the first දැන් මේක මම පැත්තකින් මෙහෙම තියාගෙන කරගෙන යන්න. So let's keep it aside. මේක white board එකට වඩා පැහැදිලිව පේනවා. ඒක මම මේක කරන්නේ. So it's much easier than whiteboard. On the so I'll take this. Now we then output within a mulim. So when it is reading n, let's say we give the value 10. Api n here and api then 50. Let's say 50. Now read n. So n is set. We give from the keyboard n as 50. N can get the so you can ask any question meanwhile. Then that 50 is going to be assigned to me. Then here pana කියන එක අපි assign කරන ඉන්නතන දානවා මොකටද min කියන එකට. එතකොට අපි min කියන එකට මොකද කරන්නේ? දානවා. So then එතකොට min කියන එකත් කීයද? 50යි. n කියන එකත් 50යි. count කියන එක කීයද? 1. Now this is the first set of values that are given when it comes to මෙතෙන්ට එන්න කලින් ඔන්න ඔය values ටික තමයි මේ තුනේ තියෙන්නේ. එතෙන්ට එනකන් තේරුණාද? Is it clear until that point?
Yes, sir.
Next. ඊළඟට බලමු. Now you can see while count is greater than or count is less than 10. Now the count is going to be 1. Count is less than 10. That make me better. Just write this down here. Count is 1. This condition is now true. So it will go into the loop. Again, you are reading another in. On the in can read. We give 40 for n. අපි දැන් ඊළඟ පාර දැන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා දුන්න 50 දැන් දෙන්නේ 40. We give 40 now. If you give 40 here, now what is mean? Tell me the value of mean now. I mean the value of the mean variable I'm asking. Yes, Nuri? Yes?
40.
Not 40. What is it? It is still 50. එහෙම තමයි. ඉතින් තාම 50යි because we have given 50 for that. So it is still what? 50.
So then how did that 40 change?
Yeah, that 40 is changed for n. The 40 is actually given in the second time. So here you read n once. Again you read inside this loop. Second time you give n as what? 40. Earlier n was what? 50.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now that is done. This is over. Now when it comes here, you give again another value for n, and that value I am just stating as 40. When that value is given as 40, now what is the problem that you have? What is the find the smallest number from 10 input numbers? Numbers 10කින් අපි දිගටම numbers 10ක් දෙනකොට ඒවයින් අඩුම number එක මොකක්ද කියලා තීරණය කරන එක තමයි මෙතනින් කරන්නේ. එතකොට එක නම්බරයක් දැන් දීලා ඉවරයි. එකක් දුන්නා. කීයද ඒක? 50. It is 50. So now that is 50, and we have now assumed that that is the smallest number that is given. We are assuming. So we put this variable the same number like this. So this min variable is also going to be 50. Again, අපි උපකල්පනයක් කරනවා දැන් තියෙන number එක පොඩිම එක කියලා. දැන් දීලා තියෙන පොඩිම number එකකට අපි කරන්නේ මුලින්ම දීපේ කියලා හිතලා වැඩ කරා යනවා. එතකොට ඊළඟට අපිට හම් වෙනවා. So now we give a smaller number than that. Now it is 40. Now if min is, so මෙතන මේ min කියලා කියන්නේ තාම 50යි. That is 50 still. ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Then in here, what is your number? 40. Very good. Then make a 40. Enough. Now this is 40. This is 50. Make a 40. Make a 50. Then what the condition is true, right? The condition is now true. Therefore, what will happen? Now we have found an input number that is less than the previous input number which was given earlier. කලින් දුන්නට වඩා අඩු එකක් හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා. So our assumption is now getting wrong. Because of that, now we are resetting our min variable to what? අපි දැන් reset කරනවා අප min variable කීයටද? කීයටද? අලුතෙන් හම්බෙච්ච n වලට. You just resetting into the n value that we have taken now from the keyboard, and now min is going to be 40, and now we are going to again do something like this. So the ඊළඟට අපි කරන්නේ, so count equals count plus 1 mean. Now I told you that when you have something like this, first what we evaluate is the right hand side of this particular equal sign, and this is an expression. So now count is going to be initially 1 plus 1, the count will be 2. So at the end of this loop, මේ while එක මේ පළවෙනි එකපාරක් ගියාට පස්සේ දැන් කොහොමද values ටික තියෙන්නේ? Now tell me what is mean? What is mean?
40.
40, right? And
40.
so this is also 40. Count. Yes. Yes, what is it? 2. 2.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now these are the values that are now set at the end of the loop. ඔන්න දැන් පළවෙනි පාර එකපාරක් ගියාට පස්සේ මෙන්න මේ values ටික තමයි තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? Right. Now we are going to keep it aside. Now I'm going to take another window. Now these are the values now that we have. The maintain values take a base කරගෙන තමයි ඊළඟට මේ ඊළඟ එක පටන් ගන්න. මේක ආපහු තව පාරක් යනවා because now it is going to go and check if this condition is true or false. Then මේක මෙතනින් පස්සේ ආපහු යන්න මෙතෙන්ට ගිහිල්ලා it is checking if this condition is still true because this is an iteration. Iteration එකේදී after මේක ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. It is not going to display. It is going to go back to the condition and check it again whether it is possible to go another loop. දැන් මෙතෙන්ට ගියා. Now what is count? Count is 2. N. Let's say this time we are going to give 55. 55 දෙනවා. So N is going to be 55. Min, what is the value of min now? You have to tell me.
This is the minimum. So then is
Yes.
it equal to this or the previous one?
What is min?
40.
40. Very good. Min is 40. Then N. Sorry. I just mean is 40. N is the new value. 55. So 55 is not less than 40. So this condition is false. Make a false. So it will not do this. Make a 10. So then it will go towards this one where count is 1 plus, sorry, count is now, the value of count is now 2. So it is going to be adding 2 to 1. So count will be 3. And at the end of this, these 3 values are going to be, can you write these 3 values now? What are the values of these 3 now? What is min, what is n, what is count? You have to do like this, otherwise you can't understand pseudo codes and you can't write programs. You have to
Count is 3.
count is 3. Good. N.
N is 55.
Very good. N is
Min is 40.
40. Well done. Well done. Great. Right. Let's do it for another time. So we have the several windows. And let's minimize, then take another one. So this was the last one that we did. Let's take another. So go through this recording again. So for the note today, this recording is the one that we have to follow up. Note recording then okay, right. I will take this again here. And the set of values on the Mikaya Balmoti. I will do again twice and you can see how it works. Now we'll take these values up here. Now again I will give the value. Count is going to be 3. Still it is true, so it will go inside. Let's say I'm going to give something like 20 here. So n is going to be 20, min is going to be 40. Now what will happen? This condition is true. So your n is going to be 20, which is going to be the new value that you are assigning for the mean variable. Mean variable අලුතෙන් assign කරන value තමයි 20 කියන්නේ. ඔන්න දැන් 20 වෙනස assign කරාට පස්සේ mean එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. Count is going to be 3. 3 plus 1 is going to be 4. Now tell me what are the values of these 3 now? What are these values?
Count is 4.
Yes.
N is 20.
N is 20. Mean?
And min is also 20.
Very good. Right. One last time I will do this for to understand. Finally, the final, not the final round actually, but I will do it just to show you the last, for the one last time, to see how, just for you to understand. Antima part, make it again. I will take this again. I will put up here. So you can see now, min is 20, n is 20, count is 4. Now let's check. Min is 20, n is 20, count is 4. Now the count is gonna be what? 4. 4 is less than 10. N is going to be, let's say I give like something like 50 again. Or 50, or we can give that 45. N is going to be 20. Sorry, 45. Min is now 20. So this condition is not true. Make condition valid. So there, where again it is not true, it is false. Not false. I mean, it is not wrong, it is false, right? So mean is this is not going to happen. So it will go directly to this 4 plus 5. Now tell me what are the last values for these three. Count.
Count is 5.
Yes.
N is 45.
Hmm?
Min is 20.
Very good. So you have understood how it goes on. So that is actually what should happen at the end of the day. So now we have done it with several iterations. I have done it using several iterations like this. The original algorithm, you can see that. This was the original one. Mama pick and keep it so that you can find. Give me a minute. Right. Have a look at this. What is the balance to make a product front particular? And there's another one with the Madi Podama Meko, the Parapin unknown. Just want to show you. Very important. Count 1, count 2, count equals to 3, and count equals to 4. Last one. Right. Everything is a one screen now. How it went through. So you have everything. It's do you want to write this Noria or Can you remember it? I don't think
I
it's
can
better.
remember, sir.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no
sorry.
need to write.
No need to write, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the recording, just have a look at it later because it will take a lot of time if we start writing. And that is the same thing. Uh, you can see certain stuff are different. It says output number as n. So input number as n, output. So it is asking to even uh, give the number here. So here there's a kind of a problem because it is not. So output number as n. Let's see the pseudo code here. This is more issue in this one. I mean, not in what we did. Hmm. Because when you're writing pseudo codes, there's a certain code section that you have to follow. You can see show, but in this pseudo code, you don't see any kind of environment මේ pseudo code එකේ n කියන ගන්න තැනක් නැහැ. But it should be input 10 මේ input 10 කියන එක මෙතනින් හැලිලා තියෙනවා. There's a problem in this pseudo code, so don't refer to this. මේක බලන්න යන්න එපා. Because actually you can see that, right? You have some sense to understand that one. You can see here we have input 10. That input 10 is not mentioned here. It says output number as n because n is not taken in right after this point. It also should be input. මේකත් input වෙන්න ඕනේ. So therefore it is wrong. That's why I actually wrote without looking at that one. So once you look at that one and write it, you get biased. So you will not be able to uh, go to the correct one. Next, now we come to Pascal programming. Pascal has to be first installed in your machines to start programming. So what we have written using these programs now can be converted into Pascal programs. So Pascal is a programming language. Right? So we will start writing about Pascal programming now. So let's start writing a note on this. Will not tell you. Pascal programming. So after this we will do some exercise. We will do some stuff that are given for the O-level examination. After O-level දුන්නට ටිකක් කරනවා ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන first thing is that after this you will do some stuff that are given for O-levels. So there are certain things that we have to understand here. Okay, write down now. Let's run this. What is Pascal? Write it as question. Write down it as what is Pascal. So first, before you start doing it, you have to understand what is Pascal. right? We can write down Pascal is a high level programming language which can be used to convert the pseudocode or flowcharts that are thrown to a real working program. So this is what we call a Pascal, high level. So we can write this down.
The answer.
Yeah, right. Wait a moment, I'm just searching for to show you. Right, so that diagram is not available for the moment, which I was trying to find out. It's okay. Let's proceed with this one, Pascal. Right, so there is a programming language, and we have to find out how this Pascal is going to work. That is another thing that we have to understand. So you can see it is going to give you a lot of different things for you to understand. So before that, we have to have some introduction to Pascal. So that's why I'm trying to say, right? So it is a programming language, and I will stop sharing and show you what we should do now. Okay, so let's focus on the whiteboard for a moment. So we have developed the program design. Now program is designed by two things. One is flowcharts, and the other one is pseudo codes. You can use one of them. You don't want to use both of them. දෙකම ඕනේ එකක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න. So let's say I prefer this because this is the best thing to write programs. So the best option is using pseudocodes. Even if it is a bit difficult, sometimes you might feel it's a bit difficult. This is the best design mechanism for designing programs. Soon after having a solid pseudocode for a certain program design, we can proceed to select a language to start to develop the real program that is running on the computer. So for that, we have to select a high level language. High level language. So we have to select a high level language for that. The high level that language that we are selecting is what? Pascal. And there are other examples like what? Java, C Sharp, C++. There are other languages, but what we select is Pascal because it is very easy. One of the easiest languages to code and run and compile. So now this is the process. So once you write it in Pascal, so you write the code in the Pascal. And then you can start to run the program. Okay. So these are the examples for high level languages. Now what you should do is you have to, so this is the first step, this is the second step, the third step, running. So program design, selecting a language, then coding it, and we call this coding or program implementation. Implementation. So number 2 is program implementation. This is program design, this is program implementation, and this is program execution. Execution. Can you take this down faster? Take it down and please let me know. Done. Right. So next thing, write down the topic as Pascal compilation and execution process. So write down the Pascal compilation and execution process. Pascal compilation and execution process. So you know that we first design the program, then we select the Pascal and write the code and run it. But there's a process for doing it. That means to write the code and to run the program, there are certain steps, right? So anyway, you have to install the Turbo Pascal or the free Pascal compiler in your machine to do that. With that one, you have to also write the source code. එතකොට අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම මේ free Pascal හරි turbo Pascal හරි තියෙනවා. එහෙම software එකක් තියෙනවා. දෙකක් තියෙනවා. තුන හතරක් තියෙන Pascal ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපි එකක් install කරගන්න ඕනේ මුලින්. ඊට පස්සේ ඊළඟ step එක තමයි ඒක install කරලා ඉවර වෙලා අපි ඊළඟට ඒ program එක run කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් run කරනවා install කරනවා මොනවද මේ? ඉස්සෙල්ලා install කරන එක ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඒක පැත්තකින් කරලා ඉස්සෙල්ලා කරමු. දැන් ඒක මම පේනවා install කරන විදිය. ඊට කලින් අපි Pascal code එක ලියන්න. You have to write the Pascal source code. Pascal की source code එක ලියනවා. Pascal source code. So using a design for pseudo code, referring to a pseudo code, we have to write the Pascal source code. In Pascal source code, they're later making from here, you have to use Pascal compiler. You have to use the Pascal compiler to compile this source code. There's another program. Which converts this source code to the machine language. Make one machine language. Machine language has ones and zeros. This only is runnable in the CPU. Make it a CPU run. This is runnable in the CPU. Right? So this is going to be the machine code. Because any language finally has to be converted into the machine language to run on the CPU. So even though we write this Pascal source code from Pascal language or using Pascal syntax, that cannot be directly understood by the CPU because CPU works with ones and zeros always. So therefore, there should be a translator called Pascal compiler. This is called a translator program, which translates this Pascal code into the machine code. Even currently Pascal code the machine code translate කරලා දෙනවා. ඒතකොට මේක directly CPU එක ඇතුලේ run කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට තමයි අපි මේ compilation කියන්නේ මේක, execution කියන්නේ මේක. එතකොට මෙතනින් තමයි මේක තමයි execute වෙන්නේ. මේක තමයි compile. compile වෙලා මේක execute වෙන්නේ. පැහැදිලිද? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. You can write this as well.
Done, sir.
Done. Right. Now, next day when you are coming, you have to. Do you have a computer with you, or a laptop or desktop?
I have a laptop.
You have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I will show you. So you have to install a software in your computer to do practicals on this. And that is called Turbo Pascal. So what you should do is you have to go to Google and search for Turbo Pascal with DOSBox download. So what you should do is you have to wait until I share my screen. Give me 1 minute. Right. What you should do is I will start from the beginning. So first let me go to google.com. In Google, type Turbo Pascal. Turbo Pascal. Then when you type Turbo Pascal, you will get this Turbo Pascal with DOSBox download. Then you know Turbo Pascal with DOSBox download කියලා මෙන්න මෙහෙම link එකක් තියෙනවා. Source forge කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. You can go into the link and you will be directed to something like this. Then you have to download this. Right. Once you get this, you have to click on this download button. There are no viruses and anything. It is just a leak. So I have already installed it. So once you install this, once you download it, it will start download shortly. And you can see the download is starting. I will cancel it because I have already downloaded. So once I download it, you can see the download file is going to be here in my downloads folder. මෙතන තියෙනවා දැන් මේ downloads folder එකේ tpwdb මෙන්න මේ file එකක් එනවා. Then මේ file එක you have to double click on this one and run it. I have already installed it in my computer. දැන් මම මේක මෙතන paste කරොත් if I paste it here, you can see it is pasted now. you can double click on this and it will start running. You can see now it says the setup wizard will allow you to change the way Turbo Pascal features are installed. දැන් මේ දැනට install ලා තියෙනවනේ. ඒකින්ද මේක install කරන්න යන්න ඒක change කරන්න කියලා තමයි අපෙන් අහන්නේ. It says modify, repair, remove. But when you are installing it, you will be asked to install it properly, right? If you want, I can put another video later by uninstalling my one and installing, but it will, I don't think that you will get many problems in running that. So can you get this installed in your computer next day?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I will abort the installation now because I don't want to install it again because it is already there. And once you install it, you will get an icon like this in your machine. එතකොට මේකේ එනවා මෙහෙම icon. So you get two icons. One is this, the other one is this. Turbo Pascal with DOS box. Programming Center Turbo Pascal with DOS box. So double click on one of these. So it is better if you double click Turbo Pascal. Make it double click. You don't want to. So you will be opening a program like this soon after you click on that particular shortcut. So you can see those shortcuts appearing on the desktop. There you can see different items or menus are available. The makeup you can see that you will find something like this in your what you call you will see something like this in your screen එක මෙහෙමයක් පේනවා. දැන් මේක අපි අරගෙන so what you should do is you have to start typing a Pascal program inside this. මේක ඇතුලේ Pascal program එක type කරන්න පුළුවන්. We can go for new or we can open and now you can just proceed with some මේක proceed කරන්න පුළුවන් අපිට එක විදියකින් දැනට මේකෙදි මේ පටන් ගන්න විදිය කිව්වොත් now first of all what you should do is look at the recording. You can do this by yourself later. Now in my C drive I have in my C drive I have a folder named Pascal. C drive එකේ මගේ folder එකක් තියෙනවා Pascal. මේ Pascal folder එක ගත්තම so this is the compiled version of my Pascal program. මේ තියෙන මගේ Pascal program එකේ compiled version එක. මේකේ තියෙන මොකුත් මෙලොව හසලක් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ තියෙන එතකොට machine language එකට අදාළ දෙයක්. ඒතර මෙතන තියෙනවා hello.exe කියලා එකක්. ඒක ඇතුලේ මොනවද තියෙන කියලා බලුවොත් ඒක ඇතුලේ ඔය විදිහටම තේරෙන නැති දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. මම පෙන්නන්නම් පස්සේ මොනවද මේ කියන්නේ. I will show you them later. එතකොට මේක තමයි මගේ source code එක. You will not understand everything right now. මේ source code එක මම නිකන් test කරන්න ලියපුවා. This is used to test the program. හරි අපි දැන් Pascal වලින් පොඩි program එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. So you can write a small program using Pascal. You can go for new. ඔන්න new කියලා අපි යනවා මෙතනින්. අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම දාන්න ඕනේ program. මෙන්න Pascal program ලියන විදිය නිකන් පෙන්න මේක ඔක්කොම අපිට කියලා දෙන්නේ how to teach you how to do that. My program. So I have to write the name of the program first. Then there's a library called CRT that we have to use. Then we have to assign variables if we need. But if we intend only to print something and finish it off, we can use begin and end because this is somewhat similar to pseudo code and we can write line. We can just type our name inside. So let's see if it compiles. So we first have to compile this. There's a error here. I have to put a semicolon here as well. Now let's compile it and see if it compiles. So it is given error 36 users. So I'll put dot here. So now it is successfully compiled. They only compiled now because Pascal is not the language that I have used frequently. Just only for this grade 11 I'm using it. So that's why I just made several mistakes when I'm doing it. So now you can see program, my program, UCRT, begin, and this looks like the pseudo. So I can do the magnify to make it more visible for you in case you can't see it well. Here you can see the Pascal program. So this is the syntax of, I will explain you what each line does. So you should be able to do this next day with my guidance. So for the moment, we don't have time because you also may not have installed it by now. Then you can run the program. When you're running the program, it is just running and going away because it is coming in the background. And so because we have to save this and start, we have to save current. So we can save it in a location. So all these stuff you have to study one by one. So I will give a name as my Pascal or my first. So now I'm saving it here. The method save karata passe. You run it. There should be another line I should put to remain or make the output available. Each key. And we can just compile it and run it. So it has run. It's a run bear. ඇවිල්ලා යන හින්දා ඒක output එකේ හතර තුන් පාරක් ඉස්සෙල්ලා වැදිලා දැන් තමයි පෙන්නන්නේ. Now it is showing. So if we hit enter, it goes. So now I have just typed my name and displayed it. Again, if you run it again, you can see it is 4-5 times. Right. This doesn't make sense today because you first you have to install it and come. Okay, ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේක install කරලා එන්න. So now whatever I saved here is going to be open as a Pascal program in the notepad like this. I hope you can see the screen. Okay. Right. I think that will be the end of today's lessons. Anything that you have to ask, Rama?
Awesome.
Okay. So next day, let's do some practicals on Pascal and proceed, right? So make sure that you install that software in the Turbo Pascal in your machine and come to the lesson so we can proceed with some practicals, right? Then thank you very much for your participation and we'll stop.
Thank you, sir.